Eric, Nikki, good evening. Lawyers here in the courthouse questioned 6 witnesses today, and all of those witnesses knew Dominguez through friendships, work, or through school. They all talked about his strange habits, which included staring off into the distance for minutes at a time sometimes, also talking to himself, and one of the witnesses even mentioned that he had said that he heard the devil's voice in his dreams. But all of the witnesses said during these times he seemed aware of his surroundings, meaning he knew where he was, he knew who he was, and what he was supposed to be doing there, meaning that he was competent during the times that they spent together.
You do solemnly swear that you're about to give the cause nothing for the court, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
In the competency trial of Carlos Dominguez Tuesday, the defense calling witnesses to the stand, including 3 former roommates, a former co-worker, and a former girlfriend.
I feel like what we bonded a lot over was just a general drive towards our futures and just motivation towards schooling.
Dominguez and Kaylee Gallardo met during their first year in school at UC Davis back in 2020. Gallardo says at first, Dominguez was in general more quiet, but would smile, laugh, and joke around at times. However, that general drive and motivation that Gallardo talked about quickly faded when she says Dominguez became more secluded, and roughly sometime in 2022, she began to notice strange activity. She says Dominguez believed to hear people saying things when they didn't actually say things, and according to Dominguez, hearing the devil's voice in his dreams.
I don't know what specifically he had said, I just know he had said that the devil was talking to him in his dreams.
You do solemnly swear to sing up again the cause nothing for the court, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Dominguez's former roommate, Nathan Riego de Dios, also mentioned strange behavior.
I would just see him move his mouth. I couldn't hear anything. I just seen him move his mouth.
Move his mouth how?
As if he was talking. I was freaked out by it.
Why were you freaked out by it?
Because I've never seen that before.
Gallardo says as time went by, Dominguez's hygiene began to worsen. His hair got longer, he got skinnier, and he would take less and less care of his cat named Ember. In court, when the defense showed a photo of Dominguez and his cat together, he mumbled a noise and looked at the image, one of the only times he did so the whole day.
Did it ever occur to you that he might have a mental illness?
Yes.
When Gallardo says she brought up the possibility of mental illness or seeking help,
He was not very receptive to it at all. He thought he was okay.
the prosecutor's cross-examination consisted of asking the witnesses questions surrounding Dominguez's understanding of where he was, who he was, and what he was meant to be doing at the time. And each witness said Dominguez understood all of those points, but did have moments of staring into space, which nobody could really explain. So again, this trial is just to determine if Dominguez is competent to stand trial, not to determine his guilt in those Davis stabbings. I will say, though, some of the victims' families were in the courtroom today, and they tell me they plan to be in every single hearing going forward. Tomorrow, we do expect to hear from some more of Dominguez's acquaintances, as well as some mental health experts. Live in Woodland, covering local news that matters, I'm Zach Boetto, Fox 40 News.